I wake up at 7:50 a.m. to digest this loss to the Brooklyn Nets. Um, I actually don't feel that bad about it. And I'm probably going to start doing this more, that my post-game thoughts are going to be like the day after, maybe in the afternoon or earlier in the morning. And I'm currently filming this at 10:33 in the morning. This might be up at like in the afternoon, maybe at like 2 o'clock. So I have to upload this after school. I had to wake up 7:50 for school. I'm currently on break. My next class is at 11:45. Hope you guys are doing well. But I gave my time to digest this loss to the Brooklyn Nets. If I'm being completely real, it doesn't feel like a loss. It doesn't. And this is my perspective on this game. Yes, there's no more Karis LeVert. There's no more Jared Allen. They have a brand new coach of Steve Nash. They brought in James Harden, of course, in that big trade. But James Harden and Kyrie Irving did not play. Kyrie Irving possibly isn't going to be playing until Saturday, which is kind of soon because he has his own problems or whatever's going on in the Kyrie Irving world right now with the flat earth and everything. But Kevin Durant did play in this game. And I can't be disgusted. I honestly can't. Because we did all we could to win this game. In my opinion. You could say you're delusional. But you take a look at the Nets as a whole. They're not a great team without like Spencer Dinwiddie. He's out, torn ACL. Karis LeVert's gone. Jared Allen. They don't have as much depth. They have DeAndre Jordan starting at center. They have like Luana Cabarro. They have Joe Harris, a good shooter. And you could say they don't have a complete team. But Kevin Durant's literally their team. I don't think people realize in basketball, at least in the regular season, you have one superstar player, they could take over the whole freaking game. And if I was watching a game with just someone that first started watching basketball and they were like, who's that? Or whatever. I'll be like, he's a former second overall pick. They'll be able to believe that because Kevin Durant still looks amazing. He still looks like one of the most effortless scorers in NBA history. Off the dribble, his athleticism still there. He has a complete game, and we all know he's one of the most complete scorers of all time. We could all hate on him for going to Golden State, but he is amazing. Kevin Durant is just an unbelievable basketball player, one of the toughest shot makers I've ever seen, around there with Kobe Bryant. And another reason, I would feel different about this loss if the young players didn't play well. That's a big reason why I'm not terribly mad at this game, and we're 5-7. If you asked me before the season, the Knicks, will they be 5-7, or if someone told me they'll be 5-7, I'll be like, are you kidding me? I'll literally say that because I thought they're gonna start off as the worst team in the NBA. I thought I thought they were gonna be on the same level of the Detroit Pistons, who I believe have currently 2 or 3 wins right now. Because I was like, Elfrid Payton, we're not winning games with Elfrid Payton. Mitchell Robinson may not even start. He still has foul trouble. Yes, he can do all this great stuff, but if he doesn't mature his game, it doesn't matter if he can do that extra stuff, guard the perimeter, and he's really athletic and stuff, if he can't stay on the floor. RJ Barrett, we all knew he was going to start. And we're yeah, Emmanuel Quickley, he's not going to start. Kevin Knox is going to start. Quickley and Knox still won't start. Mitch is a lock, though, for starting, though. I got to give credit to Mitchell Robinson this season. He had another very solid game. 10 points, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks. And guess what? In 33 minutes, he played 33 minutes, had 2 fouls. Wasn't in foul trouble again. I got to give credit to where credit is due for Mitchell Robinson. I'm not saying he's a future star, but he could be a stable center for a long time, unless they want to go out there, get an Evan Mobley, get someone like a unicorn level or something like that. But I got to give credit to him. He's been solid. That's all I've asked, for him to stay on the floor. And people can hate on Mitchell Robinson, but he was a second-round pick. He's really good value. Really good value. And if someone told me that he was going to play 33 minutes and have 2 fouls, I would just be like, you're crazy. He gets in foul trouble like crazy, but he has matured his game. And I'm proud of Mitchell Robinson. The way he played last night, the way he's been playing consistently throughout the season, he's been the most consistent young guy. And Julius Randle, this team would be so lost. This team's already not great, 5-7, but this team would be even worse, or this team would be so lost offensively without Julius Randle. When we were in this game, we were hitting timely buckets. This man had 30 points, 7 rebounds, 13 to 25, 2 turnovers. Only 2 turnovers in 40 minutes. That's an upgrade, y'all. And he had 3 fouls. He's getting better. Yes, I said that. Julius Randle is progressing. He's not regressing like last season of turning the ball over, being very ball dominant. He's keeping his head up. He's even playing defense. And he even had some plays that he was solid on Kevin Durant, but you're not going to be able to keep up with KD the whole game. But Julius Randle had another good game, and I was someone that was really critical on Julius Randle, but he's playing a good brand of basketball. Austin Rivers, he was not great. You could say he had freaking 8 points, but he had like one garbage time three. But yes, you could say we were competing towards the end, so you can call it garbage time if you want. Elfrid Payton, he shouldn't even be starting anymore. I get it, he had his good amount of games, but those like a couple of good games. But if we're looking towards the future, even if Quickly's not our starting point guard of the future, you start him. You brought Payton back on like a 1 year. He's not a part of the future. He's not going to be back next season. Quickly we drafted. We were clearly high on him. Kenny Payne knows all about him. You could say we wanted Tyrese Maxey, and he was in love with the other Kentucky kid just because Maxey wasn't there. But Quickly had a good game. It's all about the consistency with him, though. You might have like a terrible game than a good game, but he had 19 points, 3 assists. Still needs to get better communicating, guarding the pick and roll, but he shot the ball well from downtown. He shot it at a 50% clip, 7 for 15. And when he's like actually attacking the basket and not always using that floater, the floater's effective. But sometimes you have to realize when you go up strong, and he had this really nice move that he really got someone with the crossover. I forgot who it was at the moment, and he had the and one. But I thought Quickly had a solid game, and someone who I think deserves to start. And you move RJ over to the 2, because this player who's currently hurt, he's one of the most streaky players, you could say, in the NBA, or at least for the New York Knicks, the most streaky player. Reggie Bullock. He might shoot 50% from downtown, then he might shoot like 0 for freaking 15. You got to start Kevin Knox. I can't believe I'm saying this. He might suck next game, but he's been consistent in the last few games. Kevin Knox has shot the ball well this season. He was 2 for 3 from 3. He was 5 for 6, 13 points. He's been shooting the ball well. And you can give that credit to Lethal Shooter. His shot looks a lot smoother. He looks more aggressive. He looks stronger. He looks more physical. Like, he's playing better defense. And I never thought this team was going to make it to the playoffs. Because, yes, it's cool and all, experience and all that. But you take a look at a team like the Orlando Magic. They went to the playoffs first round. Like, they're a team that has gone to the first round a couple of years. You can say they gain experience, but, like, I don't want to be stuck in a position as an 8th seed. Like, yes, you get that experience and all, but never mind. I was getting to this point of, like, you're not going to do anything as an 8th seed. They're in that position. They're not good enough to get a high draft pick and, like, build towards the future. Like, hand out these big contracts to guys like Vucevic, Markelle Fultz, Terrence Ross. Like, Vucevic is a good player, though. But, like, you're not good enough to compete at the same time. They're like a very interesting basketball team. Like, I want to build this winning culture, but we would go to the playoffs with Elfrid Payton starting at point guard, who won't even be here next year. And if we make it to the playoffs, they're going to be like, well, Payton's somewhat good. We have to bring Payton back. This team's not good enough to go to the playoffs. This team isn't. And we'll see if Tibbs realizes that. Like, this team is just not good enough offensively at all. We've gotten better defensively. Got to give credit to Tibbs there. But I'm just very pleased with how the young guys played last night. Of course, it's consistency. With RJ Barrett, we'll get into. He had just a terrible first half. It was just scary to watch. He was missing shots. He was missing, like, shots from the outside, layups. It was awful. But this is one thing I've always loved about RJ. In second halves, or at least most of them, he's overcome adversity. He finished with 20 points on 7 of 15 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3. 5 for 6 from the charity stripe. That's improvement. 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He's improved at his free throws at least. But at least this kid isn't afraid. He still shot 4 threes even when he's shooting under 20%. But it doesn't feel like a loss because the future looks somewhat bright. It looks like we may have something. Mitch may be a part of the future. RJ maybe. Randall might be a part of this future. Some Knicks fans might not like to hear that because we drafted Obi Toppin. But if this is the real deal and he keeps this up, why can't Obi be an energy guy off the bench? Look at the history of the 8th overall pick. He doesn't have to be a starter. He can still be a productive player off the bench. People think bench, they think trash. No, there's some very productive players that come off the bench in the NBA. Spencer Dinwiddie, guys like Lou Williams. He could be that nice energy guy. He can bring scoring, bring athleticism to energize guys. But I'm proud of this team. I thought they played well. Toppin only played 1 minute. I guess they didn't think he was ready, or just Randall was playing that good. But yeah, Barrett played his 38 minutes, still playing him a lot of minutes. Payne played 33. It's 7 points, 3 for 11, 1 for 3 from 3. I can't stand when he shoots a 3-pointer. And I just, like, this team's simply better when he's not on the floor. I get it. He brings somewhat good defense. He's a playmaker. But they're just expect a lot of zone. It's an easy game plan. Force them to shoot threes. Game's over. I'm not saying we're going to win with quickly, but if we're going to lose, lose with the young guns. Don't lose with guys that aren't going to be here, part of the future. Rivers may be, but as a bench piece. If you think Rivers is a starting piece for the future, you're crazy. But Knox, I got to give credit to this season, and I got to give credit to Mitchell Robinson. I just got to, and Julius Randle deserves all the credit in the world because this team would be lost. So freaking lost offensively. But this team has a lot of work to do, and I do think Tibbs is the right coach. You could say it's too early, but he's already an upgrade, at least over Fizdale or anyone is. This team fights. You've seen we have it's as simple as this. We had freaking 2 wins throughout 4 wins throughout 20 games. Just Fizdale had no philosophy. He had no plan. It looked like he had no playbook. He didn't hold players accountable. Tibbs holds players accountable. He preaches defense, but actually has them playing defense. I think we're actually going to look like a basketball team in the future. We may actually look like a solid team if we build this thing the right way. We need a point guard. That's the main thing. I don't think Quickly's our future. Maybe a nice bench piece. Do I hope he's our point guard of the future? Yeah, because I want a point guard and he could shoot the basketball. But it doesn't feel like a loss. If the young guys didn't play good, this is a terrible loss. We still fought in this game. We lost 116-109. We made the score look better towards the end. But gosh, this game would have been so ugly. I would have been pissed off if RJ shot over 20. Mitch sucked. Just these young guys were terrible. This is not a good loss if that happened. But I do want to, playoffs is still a thing I want to see. Because I haven't seen it since I was freaking 8 years old. And Carmelo's on the team. Shumpert, Pablo Pirgioni, shout out to you. All those guys. Iman Shumpert, one of my favorite Knicks. I always respected his defense. But this team, winning culture, I get it. The Knicks haven't been good in a long time, but I don't know. We'll see what goes on to happen because I have mixed emotions when it comes to the playoffs with this team, man. Way rather just get a point guard in the draft and then compete next year. We're competing either way though. We're 5-7. That's the championship compared to the Knicks last season. It really is. But they were hitting tough shots as well. Kevin Durant was unbelievable. Even guys like Luano Cabarro was starting to find his stroke. Even though he was 2 for 8, he still had 13 points. Shamit, he's been struggling all season. He was good in this game. Harris killed us. And guys like Jeff Green, who some people forgot he played basketball and he's still in the league. DeAndre Jordan, former Knick, Clipper, Maverick. Just can't be completely mad at this game. I really can't when it comes to the young guys, but I need to see consistency. We play the Cavs next. We'll see what goes on to happen. And we made 11 threes. That's an upgrade over friggin' any game. But this team's going to continue to get better, in my opinion. Just got to trust what's going on within the organization. And I appreciate you guys tuning in.